Lifeguards. For most of us, they're just another part of the beach, like the sea and the sand. As beachgoers, rarely do our thoughts go beyond this scene. But let's take an extra step. Imagine for a moment that you are an LA County Ocean Lifeguard. What would this mean to you? What would be your role and responsibility to the public? Well, imagine a task no smaller than safeguarding the lives of every single person within your sight. This is a job that not only demands the talents of a highly skilled ocean lifesaver, but that also demands the abilities of a paramedic, police officer, public relations specialist, not to mention part-time oceanographer and sometimes even a babysitter. And when you see someone in trouble, any trouble, you'll realize that person has no one else to turn to or count on, no one but you. Lifeguarding is a serious duty that requires the commitment of special people. But where do these individuals come from? And how did they become so knowledgeable and competent in their jobs? In this program, we'll take you through the qualifying and training process that is required to create a Los Angeles County lifeguard. If being a lifeguard is tough, becoming a Los Angeles County lifeguard is even tougher. Many who try do not qualify. And not all of those who do qualify go on to pass the rigorous training program. Becoming an LA County lifeguard is only possible if a person has the drive, the talent, and the dedication necessary for this demanding position. Remember, no one is born a lifeguard. In order to know more about becoming a lifeguard, we must look at the scope of lifeguard duties. Los Angeles County Ocean Lifeguards are responsible for safeguarding 22 beaches along the 31 miles of coast in Los Angeles County. During the course of a typical year, LA County lifeguards will pull 8,000 swimmers from the water, warn as many as 300,000, and make 2,000 boater rescues. They even help locate over 3,000 lost children every year. Their varied duties and talents include providing paramedic service on Catalina Island, giving emergency medical aid, responding to scuba diving accidents, and performing cliff rescues. For these reasons, LA County lifeguards hold the status of being the finest and best paid lifesavers in the world. The process of becoming a lifeguard can be broken down into several stages. The first is simply asking yourself, why do you want to become a lifeguard? If you think lifeguarding only involves getting paid to catch some rays at the beach, you're in for a rude awakening.
Tell me if you're going to throw up, okay?
It's okay,
So you've decided that this is the job for you. You feel confident in yourself and your abilities. What to expect on the road ahead? The first step in the process of becoming an LA County lifeguard is to fill out one of these official application forms. They are available during the winter at all main county lifeguard stations from Cabrillo to Zuma Beach. After applying, you'll be invited to participate in a series of difficult tests, including a swim test, an oral interview, and a complete physical examination. Only by passing all of these will you be invited to rookie training school. Let's take a closer look at each of these testing stages.
The interview is a walk in the park relative to the competitive nature of the swim. The swim is something that the people that are successful will never forget because it'll be one of the toughest swims they've ever done.
What Lifeguard Division Captain Gary Crum is referring to is the first and most difficult portion of testing, a 1,000-meter open ocean swim held in the early spring. Because of the difficulty of this qualifying test, you must have a solid background in swimming. On the day of testing, you'll report in the early morning to the lifeguard station for check-in and identification. You'll also be briefed on the course and testing rules. After which, the moment of truth arrives, as you and some 200 other competitors are directed to the starting line. As a contestant, you must swim out through the surf to a buoy 100 meters offshore. Bear in mind, this swim is taking place during the month of April. The water is generally around 53 degrees. Once at the buoy, you'll turn and swim parallel to the shoreline. 800 meters later, you'll reach a second buoy and turn toward land. Back through the surf once more, the final stage of competition is a sprint on sand to the finish line. Here you'll be given a numbered wooden stick corresponding to your place in the finish. Only the first 100 finishers will be considered for rookie school. There are no alternates. If your finishing number is 101 or more, you will not qualify.
So you would undoubtedly recommend that anybody wanting to attempt this should train for it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're up against some of the best swimmers in Southern California, definitely, because this is the LA County's highest paying lifeguards in the world, I think.
If you are among the first 100 finishers, you'll advance to the second testing stage, that of the oral interview. This process takes place on the same day of the swim test. At this point, you'll be asked questions about your background, interests, and career goals.
Beautiful view. Okay, you've passed the interview. Next, you'll be scheduled for a complete physical examination to determine your state of health and whether you have a condition that may interfere with your ability to perform as a lifeguard. The exam will include a hearing test, monitoring for any heart irregularities, and an eye test. As a new lifeguard, you must have at least 20/30 vision without glasses.
Having made it past these major testing hurdles, you are now ready for formal instruction in becoming a lifeguard. The training sessions, comprised of 6 days of classroom and outdoor instruction, take place over 3 consecutive weekends and are held along the county coast. Typically, half of the day is devoted to lectures in a classroom situation. During these lectures, you'll become well-versed in essential lifeguarding skills, such as first aid and CPR. Additionally, you'll learn much more than these standard skills. Candidates are taught how to deal with a variety of medical emergencies, such as toxic substance ingestion, and how to deliver a baby. Instruction also teaches how to deal professionally with the public on a daily basis. Lifeguards must interact respectfully and diplomatically at all times.
Now you're going to talk to them like this, like I tend to do all the time. No, you're going to kneel down and say, "Hey, pal, what's your name?" You have to be very gentle with them, don't you? And sometimes they aren't going to tell you your name. So what are you going to do? You're going to tell them your name, right? You're going to start asking them, "What's wrong?" What's wrong? Just like a patient assessment on an adult. The patient assessment on...
The second half of each training day will acquaint you with the aspects of on-the-beach practical training. Topics range from sessions on the use of a rescue can, learning the correct and most efficient way to enter and swim through the surf line during simulated rescues, and instruction in recognizing and evaluating possible ocean hazards. No detail is left untouched, including the importance of personal appearance.
You shaved today, McDaniel? No, sir, I shaved last night. Shaving last night is not shaving today. That's not good enough. You better have that stuff off in the next 2 hours.
In effect, you'll be taught to deal with the environment in which you'll be working. The physical demands of this training are, at the very least, challenging for any lifeguard candidate. Sometimes the program proves too challenging. This candidate had to be rescued during an early morning tower-to-tower training swim at Zuma Beach. Overcome by the cold ocean water, he developed hypothermia-induced seizures near the end of the swim.
Because the instructors who supervise the training program keep a careful watch on all of the candidates, this person was quickly pulled from the ocean and transported to a nearby hospital where he recovered. As a lifeguard, you must be able to endure the most extreme conditions. Otherwise, you risk the lives of the people you're there to protect, along with putting yourself and your co-workers in danger.
The final day of rookie school is evaluation day. You'll be tested on every single subject you've been exposed to during your training. This is an all-important test. You must pass all subjects designated pass-fail in order to become a lifeguard. Once through the course and evaluation, you will have earned the status of Los Angeles County Ocean Lifeguard. But the process of learning isn't over. In this job, there's no substitute for the teaching of actual field experience. Your first summer as an ocean lifeguard will be the most important in your career. To understand this further, we talked to a recent graduate of rookie school and to an experienced veteran about the importance of a lifeguard's first summer season.
It was what I expected, and then some, really, because there's, actually, you're out there on the beach or in your tower and something happens, and then all of a sudden, you got to act and, take responsibility and make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Your first days on the beach as a lifeguard are usually very nervous ones. You should try to listen to the person that's teaching you the skills, the visual skills as a lifeguard. There are a lot of things to learn your first year as a lifeguard. For example, most of us look at people when we talk to them. You don't do that when you're a lifeguard. You always watch the water rather than the person that you're talking to. And it's hard to get used to that because you've been trained all your life. Look at the person you're talking to. You don't do that when you're a lifeguard. You look at the water all the time.
As you've seen, a great amount of work, effort, and dedication goes into becoming a Los Angeles County lifeguard. But the rewards are great too. More than a job, more than a career, lifeguarding will teach you personal skills to last a lifetime. Or perhaps better said, several lifetimes, if you count the number of people that might be saved by a life-saving professional like yourself. Lives that will depend on no one but you.